I've been trying to figure out how to make this video. It's something I've literally been afraid to make, but all the footage has been sitting on my phone for 2 years and 9 months to be exact. Because I recorded every big and small moment in my pregnancy, everything leading up to having my son and becoming a mom. All the footage is really personal stuff, and I've never shown you guys this deep of a glimpse into my life before, but I feel like it's important because Zion just turned 2. I have been holding on to this burden since before he was even born, since before he even came into existence. And it's getting better, it's almost gone, but this is the last step. This is something that I have to do. See, I didn't always think that I loved my kid. I didn't always want to be a mom. Most people that I meet in my life think that that's super weird. They think, oh, but that's the dream. You get married, you grow up, you have kids, you become a mom, you have a beautiful family. But that's kind of just not what I saw in my head. My whole life couldn't wait to be a wife. I just wanted a husband, I wanted my person, and that's all I really ever saw. Yeah, I guess when I pictured the future and I saw myself laying there on my deathbed at like 90-something years old, I didn't picture it being just me alone. I pictured there being kids, but for me, I always thought that would be through adoption. The idea of like pregnancy and childbirth, for me, always just felt like something that I wanted literally nothing to do with. On top of that, when I was 18, I went to the doctor and she took me into her office after my appointment and sat me down and gave me all these pamphlets and said, you're gonna have to go through in vitro someday to be able to get pregnant. And so for me, I just kind of thought, hey, that's God like saying, all right, you're off the hook. You're not gonna have to go through all of this someday. But then my husband and I got pregnant. I just took this and I don't know if I messed it up, but that's 2, right? That's 2. That is 2 limes, babe.
That is 1.5
that
or 2 limes.
1.5, that's 2.
That is possibly 2.
Oh no. But this is not happening. I was sobbing after that video for days because I was just freaked out and angry. But then my husband, meanwhile, was just over the moon happy. Like he couldn't wait to have a kid. And so I had this weird like shift in my soul, this split where I just felt like I need to be happy for him, but I'm so angry for me. But my first certain thought was like, okay, I'm pregnant. God gave me this baby. I want to protect it. Like that was the first thought that I had was, I'm so pissed off that I'm pregnant. But I have to protect this baby. I'm telling your family tonight.
Am I about to cry?
Yes.
Best day ever!
Read the first one. Active nutrition buddy established 2022.
Are you kidding me?
Is that what this is?
Are you serious?
Are you serious?
Wait, what? You knew it.
Are you serious? You're pregnant?
Yep. Right off the bat, I knew that I was going to record everything, especially the low moments when I was really, really sick, when I lost 12 pounds from not just morning sickness, but from all day sickness and sometimes waking up at night to throw up sickness. You know what's not fun to throw up? About 3 months into the pregnancy, we found out that he was going to be a boy. And that was, again, like one of the first moments where I felt really happy about it because I could see these glimpses of the future, like taking him out to the barn with me to play with the horse, and I could picture him like watching Jurassic Park and playing with dinosaurs with me and talking about cars and all the things that like my husband did when he was little. I tried to get excited. I really, really did. I went shopping by myself and got a bunch of stuff, and now I brought him, and babe.
Let's go. Let's go.
I would go through these sweet moments of being so excited with my husband, knowing that we were going to expand our family, that we were going to have traditions and all these exciting things. And then I would almost get like frustrated at myself, like, hold on, Lindsay, no, this is not the plan that you always had for yourself. Like, stop getting excited because you're going against your own like grain. And I'd have these moments where I would like be at a store, or I would go to the park and I would see these other moms that had like 5 kids, and the moms were covered in baby spit up and their hair was like in this messy top bun, and it just looked like chaos. And I would literally have a panic attack thinking about that vision and like inserting myself into it. And I was like, this is not, no, like I wanted to focus on my career and I wanted to make my plans every day and do what I wanted every day when I wanted to do it. And I would just freak out. And then my husband would remind me gently every single time that good or bad, our life is never gonna look like someone else's life. We got our own house, and then he needed a room, and so we started planning his nursery for him, and that made it feel even more real because he was this human who needed like soft clothes on like little baby hangers and little stuffed lions and like really cozy blankets, and then I'd get excited all over again, and then that night in bed I'd be crying, panicking, thinking about everything that was going to change, and again just being angry.
The only way to get his foot out of my ribs is to like lay on my side and then just wait for him to become uncomfortable and move to a different spot. 8 more weeks, y'all. It's baby shower day and we're just relaxing before my mom and sister come over to help get everything set up. Our house is getting taken over by baby things. It's the morning of the glucose test and I've been imagining horrible things that this is gonna taste like.
Chug, 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 chug.
Well, I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes today. Not very happy about it. I think today I'm just kind of mad at being pregnant, which I think it sucks, but I think it's normal and it's okay to not always be so happy and excited. So feeling kind of down today about it and ready for October to just get here, honestly.
I was so mad because as a pregnant woman, like you envision being able to have these crazy cravings and eat chips and chocolate and pizza and all the carbs that you want, but you can't have those things when you're diagnosed with that. You literally cannot have carbs.
31 days to go, more or less, and I feel huge. What is your emotion or feeling when I say 30 days?
My stomach hurts.
Wait, does it really?
Yeah, literally.
My stomach hurts. So it is officially October 1st, which means it's the month of baby Z.
Zion was born on October 3rd early, and it wasn't this beautiful, beautiful moment that everyone told me it was gonna be.
So it's October 3rd at 10:36 and we just went for a normal appointment and now they sent us upstairs to have a baby on that spot. I don't think, oh my god, that's where he's gonna go. What? This is so weird. What are you feeling right now?
Excitement. I don't know what's going on.
Like I'm in some kind of weird.
I can't process. Hey, gonna do awesome.
I'm freaking out. Epidural is in, the water has been broken, and I can't feel a thing.
See, Zion was born with what's called a double true knot in his cord. It was literally knotted like tight 2 different times, and then it was also wrapped around his neck. And it's hard for me to kind of go back and like think of all that, because I don't even really remember that moment when he was born. All I remember is that he wasn't crying when he came out. He was just like really weirdly quiet, and the nurses like set him on this table next to me. They didn't let me hold him, and his chest was caved in, and he was like breathing really fast. Like you could see his chest going like this, and they have to kind of like shake him a little to get him to make some noises, and then they said, hey, we got to take your baby. We have to take him down to the NICU, and we have to go right now. And so they took my husband, and my husband walked with the nurses down to the NICU with Zion, and they were telling him like, come on, Dad, let's go, hurry, Dad, let's go. And he was running after them, literally like running to get him down to the NICU. And he left me there, like he left me there alone in this room that was like really dim and depressing. And I literally felt like empty, like something had been like ripped out of me.
Going down to visit him.
I never envisioned that we would be leaving the hospital without our baby.
We're leaving the hospital. An empty seat.
And I remember getting to the house. It was quiet. My husband got everything ready on the couch for me to relax, and I walked right into the shower. I turned the hot water on, and I literally stood there sobbing until the water ran cold. And I was so frustrated with this guilt, feeling like maybe it's my fault. Maybe I didn't love him enough to like help him be healthy when he was born. I've said it a million times, but he's a miracle baby. Just all the way through the pregnancy, he's a miracle baby. And he fought really hard. And after a week, he got to leave the NICU. And I know that is really fast for some women. But it didn't feel fast for me. We used to watch him on this camera. We would sit in the living room, and we would like airplay it to the TV, and it was just this live feed of him in the NICU, and just so small, and you can't touch him. You can't be near him. You can't hold him and hear his cry and see what he smells like. You can't look at his little face and see the parts of him that are like half you and half your husband. And it just feels like this joy that you're supposed to have after 9 months of growing this sweet little boy. It feels like it was just stolen from you. But he fought really hard, and a week later he got to go home.
Going to pick him up from the NICU. He's getting released.
And that day when we got to break him free from the NICU was just amazing. It was fun, and it was terrifying, and we have this tiny little human, and he's so small. And we got to take him home, and he was ours, and he was healthy enough to go. And that first day I was so happy, and I felt like it's over, it's done, like here comes the joy. And then it didn't come. I think it got worse than it ever got. And we would have friends come over, and they would bring us food and be so excited to see us show off our baby. And I wasn't the mom that was fawning over her new child, showing him off, saying, look at this hard work that I put in, look what I made. Instead, I was the mom hiding in the back of her closet in her room, because I didn't want people to see the disconnect that I had from this sweet little boy. I felt like I was a fraud, honestly, and it was just the worst feeling in the world. And I didn't want these people that I love to see it, because there was shame and guilt, and there was no reason for there to be. But at that point in time, it just felt horrible, like this little baby that loved me and needed me. I didn't want him to need me, because I didn't feel like I was the right person for the job. Before I go any further with this, I have to say I'm better now. I got counseling, I got on medication, I worked through so many things, and I know now without a shadow of a doubt that I love my kid. And and I'm the perfect mom for him, and he's the perfect kid for me, and God matched us up like just two puzzle pieces snapping in place. I know all of that now, but that didn't make the journey to getting here any easier.
It was terrifying, but we survived our first outing with baby in tow, and he was asleep the whole time, so I don't even know why we were scared. More me, I was scared.
What the heck is going on? Okay, that definitely goes there. That has to go there. So where does that go?
I didn't hold him much when he came home. I left him in his swing, and when he was awake, I would give him a bottle, and then I'd put him back, or my husband would hold him, or I'd put Zion in his stroller and walk so I didn't have to hold him, and the disconnect between me and him just grew and grew and grew. Here's where I feel like it's really important to say that I kept going. I still got out of bed. I took my medicine every single day. I literally just put one foot in front of the other and took the next best step every single day to keep him alive and take care of him. And then eventually I figured out that when I picked up my camera, when I recorded him, it was almost like I was writing new chapters to this story between me and him, and every time I would record him, I would feel like it was giving life to him and to us together, like as a unit. And looking back, I'm so glad I picked up the camera.
Those bags under my eyes, good grief.
Me too. It's called having a newborn. Halloween costume is a little big. You're swimming in that. Somebody has been randomly cluster feeding. Also the baby. No, I thought it was funny. The goal of tummy time is not to sleep, sir.
Yep, what else? Huh? What else? Yeah, I don't really like Thanksgiving food either.
On his 1 month checkup, I remember going to the Starbucks drive-thru after, and I was just gonna get a coffee and I was gonna go home, but it was this beautiful November day. The leaves were falling. It was just so cool out, and there was this park, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go. Like, I'm terrified to take this kid out of the car other than like in the house and in his doctor. I'm gonna take my Starbucks and I'm gonna put him in the stroller and I'm gonna go. And I remember walking down there and sitting down on this park bench and taking self-timer photos with him. And it was the most beautiful, freeing moment, because suddenly I realized, like, something clicked into place where I was like, wait, I could still live my life with this baby. I could still like make adult decisions and do things that I want to do and go places that I want to go. I'm just gonna bring him with me and I'm gonna make it through, even if he starts to cry or I have to change his diaper. Like, I'm just gonna do it and deal with it. And it was literally like the turning point. And then I discovered Zion was happiest outside, and so I started strollering a lot. And every day it was like I was just cheering myself on to keep walking and keep walking and keep moving.
Take your child on a stroller walk at the nature park, they said. It'd be fun, they said. Pushing 20 pounds of child in stroller. Oh, God help us all.
Zion started struggling to eat. He started choking on things really bad, and I guess it came back to because he was a NICU baby and had developmental issues, and so he had to go to eating therapy appointments for like 6 months. And then it was like, okay, I've been cheering myself on, now like, buddy, I can cheer you on. And so I took him to every single appointment and every single feeding at home. I sat there forever and worked on all the little therapy movements, and I was cheering him on, and suddenly, like, we were a team, me and him.
You refusing to eat?
What are we doing? What are we doing? Are we cleaning dishes?
Your turn.
Here is what I've noticed, looking back on all these clips, is that he saved me, actually. He gave me a better life. Having my own baby, the last thing in the world that I thought I wanted, ended up being the very best thing that could have ever happened to me. It showed me that I can do so much more than I ever thought possible. And yeah, sometimes it's harder having a baby around, having an extra person to take care of, but it's also shown me that the things that I loved before having a baby, if I really do love those things, then they're worth working for. They're worth working really hard for if I want them to stick around. When he got a little older, I had to work on my next book deadline. He needed to go to daycare twice a week because I couldn't do it all. But that cost money that writing books just wasn't providing at the time, so I had to get creative. I started working at the church because we needed the money, but also because I found this love for taking care of myself, for serving people outside of my own home, for serving my own creativity too. I found a passion for getting creative, even if it meant stepping into a role that I wasn't sure I was good enough or talented enough to fill. But then I reminded myself, like, dude, I'm a mom now. Like, I went through childbirth and I had a NICU baby and I brought him home and I survived postpartum depression and anxiety. Like, I can do this. I could step into this role and I could figure it out and I can rock it. See, we traveled with him. We took him everywhere and he upped my coffee budget and he got me back into recording my life again. I started cherishing my alone time more with my husband than I ever had before. I started loving the moments I got to read my Bible. I joined a women's study group because I needed to be with other women who understood this like painful joy of having a kid. I started loving other people so much more because I craved adult interaction when before I couldn't really stand it. When things got rocky again, I got counseling on learning how to see myself the way God sees me because of Zion. Because I didn't want him to grow up seeing a mom who looked like she hated herself. Because I didn't want him to grow up seeing a mom who just crumbled. The best years of my life, the best growing times for myself and my marriage and my faith and my confidence, it's all been because Zion was the catalyst. Because he gave me a real, tangible reason to believe in myself like I have never before. Looking back, we made it through all of this together. I carried the guilt of not being good enough for him on my shoulders for far too long. It was guilt that was never even meant to be there in the first place. Because I did a great job. I'm still doing a great job. I can see it now with the footage and I'm so proud of myself for pushing through, for being present, for asking for help when I needed it, and for actually taking that help, for choosing love. If you're still watching this, I need you to hear me say you're doing a great job. You don't have to be the Pinterest mom. You don't have to be the mom that's so obsessed with her child that she wears mama t-shirts all the time. That's okay if you are, that's amazing if you are, but if you're not, that's okay too. Get creative, give yourself grace. Find a way to make the things you loved before your kids fit into your new chapter with kids. It's okay to take care of yourself because taking care of you is taking care of them too. You just have to do the best you can do, one day at a time. And suddenly you blink and they're turning 2 and they can literally look at you for the first time and say, I love you. And I promise you that there is no sweeter sound in the entire world.
You love me? Whoa!